Hi everybody, Tom here from CSI. Today's video is going to be on the responsibility when polishing paint. As you know, we launched our new product. It's called Production Ceram-XX. So there's two X's. Means it's more powerful than our original version of Ceram-X. Does this product work well? Yes. This product put us on the map, and we sold thousands and thousands of gallons of this product against all the major players. Today, we are going to talk about the responsibility of polishing paint. Who's responsible? If you take a 3M compound and you only used that 3M compound, which product is going to take off more paint? Ceram-X, Ceram-XX, or what I like to call rocks in a bottle. Big, giant, gravelly bits of particles that, when polishing paint, it needs a second product to clean up the first product, and then sometimes a third product to clean up the second product. Which of those systems is going to take off more paint? Now, you may think that, Tom, why are you standing on that soapbox again, just trying to sell your product? Well, when I originally came out with this product, it was to end the nightmare that I was experiencing in the body shop, not just by me, because I wasn't doing a lot of the polishing, but it was handing the product to my guys on very, very expensive paint jobs. And even though they were experienced, I never put somebody who was not experienced. And I think as a shop owner, that is my responsibility. If we were doing a lot of Panteras, a lot of Ferraris. If I gave somebody a system and I burned through the paint on that car, whose fault is that? Well, if the car is in my shop and we painted the car, then all the blame falls not on the employee, but on me. Now, of course, I would have gone through the ABCs with the employee and made sure that he understood this is a very expensive car, don't burn it, this, that, all the other stuff. But sometimes, even my best guys, even myself, you grab an edge, especially with a 3-product system, and presto, you're right through the sharp edges that we did and all the block sanding to get it that way and to make that car just flat board straight, we burn through the surface. So of course, that responsibility falls on me as a shop owner. And then we got to put it in the spray booth, spend whatever we got to spend, and fix it. But let's say you're a detailer and you're trying to decide between Ceram-X and Ceram-XX. Which one's going to get the job done faster? I'll tell you right now, this one. This is going to get the job done faster. Are you going to take out more paint? Now, this is not a compound. This is not a diminishing abrasive. This is nothing like any compounding system on the market. Can I be as non-abrasive as this product with this product? And the answer is yes. I use the same cutting agent. The chemistry difference between this is what makes this product so unique. It stays wetter longer. It has a special wetting agent in this product, and it extends out the length of time that I can cut with it, so that meant I could put more cutter in this product. So by adding more cutter to the emulsion and extending the working time, I'm able to remove more scratches faster with this product. But let's say you're not convinced with CSI. Because everything that we made goes back to bedrock. I absolutely knew nothing about making products when I started to make System 1 way back in 1996. And I didn't want to know anything about the products that were there. Did I use 3M all day long? Did I want to, dissect their formula and find out what's, no. It stuck in the jams, it smelled bad, it burned my skin, and it burned the paint on a lot of cars. It was still the best system on the market. And I always fell back to using 3M over and over and over again. And sitting in my office on a Friday night, we're delivering, let's say, a black Porsche, fighting swirl marks, but we're getting it. And my guy that worked for me, super talented, worked for me for 13 years. And basically all he did was the final detailing on all the cars. And he'd come in the office, and I can tell you, he came in the office more than once, many times actually, and said, Tom, that car I've been working on all day, and it's so pretty, I just burned through. Ugh, it's Friday night. All of these frustrations are what caused me to make CSI. I don't want that problem. I want to be able to control the mill removal all the way. And that's what CSI is all about. So if you're a detailer and you don't know how much paint is on the car, let me tell you how much paint is on a Toyota or a Honda. The only car that might have a little bit more top coat clear is a Lexus. Because when I was painting, there was a tech sheet that Lexus actually put out, and it said they double clear coated the car. That means it went through the process, they denibbed it, and they cleared it again. So you had more protection. And if you ever, I think even to this day, if you look at the door jambs on a Lexus, they're flawless. They are very, very nice. Saying that the second clear coat was put over the top of a hard surface, which changed the surface tension and gave a lot less orange peel finish. So even on the door jambs, a place they're not going to color sand and rub, the door jambs are beautiful on all the Lexuses that I've seen. But if you're a detailer and you're trying to decide between Ceram-X and Ceram-XX, I would say start with Ceram-X. This will work and do everything that you will want to do. If you start to get into full color sand and rubs, then I would say you're experienced on Ceram-X and you're ready to go a little bit quicker, push a little bit more, then go to Ceram-XX. And it's going to help you to be more productive. But the whole premise of this video is talking about responsibility. I can't tell you how many times I talk to detailers and they tell me they burned through the car. And they feel real bad. Especially if they're new detailers. And they're like, yeah, I've got to paint the door, the fender, this. I said, did you talk to the customer? Did you explain to the customer that a normal car's finish has the amount of clear basically measuring the thickness of a pack of cigarette cellophane that wraps around a pack of cigarettes, that thin plastic sheeting? That's all the clear that you have on a new car. Now, if that car has been buffed once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And they used multiple product systems, a compound, a polish, and then a glaze to fix everything in the end. If that car has been polished multiple times using a product like that, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You need to warn the customer so that the liability does not fall upon you. The best thing is have a conversation with the customer. Explain why this detailing job is going to cost whatever it's going to cost. $100, $200, $300, $400, whatever you can get and whatever you can justify for the amount of hours that you're going to put into the car, removing fallout and maybe some orange peel, and then removing maybe somebody else's swirl marks. If you see a car with swirl marks, that car has probably been damaged by compound. So yes, I do get on the bandwagon on responsibility. I make sure that my customers understand it's not my fault. I'm going to do a small demonstration on your car, Mr. and Mrs. whoever, and I'm going to buff out a small section. I'm going to show you what I am capable of doing, and I'm going to do that for free using either Ceram-X or XX. And I probably would only ever reach for XX. I would never use Ceram-X myself now that I have XX, just because the bite is better. If I want to back off on the bite, I back off on my pressure. Does it cost a little more? Yes, it does. And if that's important to you, then just go back to using Ceram-X. We're going to maintain that price structure on Ceram-X. We never raised the price going through all these price raises that we saw everybody else go through. But the new Ceram-XX, it costs more. So yes, at the end of the day, it's going to cost more. And it is a better product. It's a better biting product, and it finishes unbelievable. But when you are polishing somebody's car, just like me, if I'm polishing my friend's car, I need my friends, my customers, to understand that I may go through the surface. Now, if I blatantly burn through on an edge, well, that's my fault. There's no reason to ever burn an edge. You buff up to the edge, and then you buff off the edge on the other side. You never buff on top of an edge. Ever, ever, ever. And we are going to have buffing classes here, led by Sam. You've probably seen Sam many, many times. He does cars all over the country, doing lots of full color sand and rubs, and he loves teaching the class. And I told him, you can use the shop and do as many classes as you want. So contact Sam the Buffer. I think he goes by OG Buffer too on Instagram. He's got lots and lots of followers and lots of cool cars, from lowriders to street machines and all kinds of really, really cool stuff. And he does an awesome, awesome job, and he uses nothing but CSI. So I'm happy for that. But if you wanted to get more in depth with Sam about color sanding and polishing, the right way, the wrong way, the way to get in trouble, and I will come in and we'll talk about business, the money side of this business, because I want you to make money. And you know what? Even if you don't use our product and you pay for these kind of classes that Sam's going to be putting on here, this education about the nightmares of burning through a customer's car will, if applied, end up saving or making you a lot more money at the end of the year. So we have to warn the customer. We have to make sure that the customer understands the liability of polishing a cleared surface on an automobile. That there is that chance, if the car has been polished before, that you could possibly go through the surface. Both the Ceram-X product and the Ceram-XX product have the same idea, concept behind them to be super, super safe. We don't use an aggregate that has to break down. Think of tiny, 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 microscopic, nanoscale diamonds in a beautiful water-based emulsion that you're able to polish out any scratch. And I mean any scratch. If there is enough paint on the surface, you can get the scratches out. And you know, if you ever seen us at any trade shows, that envelope was pushed, I think in the beginning, we were doing 1,500, and then people are like, no, do 1,000. So we buff and we take out 1,000 grit and take it all the way to perfect with no swirl marks. Then they're like, no, let me see 600 grit. So they sand it with 600, buff it, as long as there's enough paint on the surface. And then the most I've probably ever taken out, and we were back at the TAMCO show. Tammy Miller puts on a show, but when she was with her mom and dad, we were back at their show back east in Virginia, and the TAMCO takeover, and somebody said, come on, let's try and take out this grit. And it was 180 grit. Now you look at 180 and go, I don't know if we can move 180. But there was plenty of paint on the surface, and I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and it came right out. Because the product is water-based, the water is used as an insulator on the painted surface to keep it from melting the paint. And if you've ever burned the paint using compound, where you're heating up the paint with a product that smells, they say it's water-based, but when you smell it, you can kind of burns the inside of your nose, meaning the solvent on that product is on the outside of the emulsion. And that's why those kind of products stick so well to the paint when they're dry, because the solvent softens the substrate and the aggregate digs in deep and you can't get it off. I mean, it's hammer and a chisel. Take a wooden paint stick and you kind of have to chip it off of there, and it'll stain the paint. It'll make a mess on the paint. CSI will never, either of our products, they will never ever do that. They're water-based. Let them dry on the surface, they fall right off. They totally delaminate right from the clear. They'll just fall off the surface. If you hit it with water, there is a soap built into the product and it all washes off. Now, where does that come in handy? If inside the door jambs, you've stuffed the door jamb full of the polish, and then you're tired, it's a Friday night, you don't come back to the shop until Monday morning, and you see all that white polish stuffed inside the door jamb. All you got to do is hit it with a hose and it all falls off. So in regards to the liability, make sure that you are having good conversations with your customer so that you aren't surprised when you burn through somebody else's buffing job because they removed too much material using a compound, a polish, and a glaze. No matter what 3-product system they used, they took off more product than necessary. So make sure you warn them so that you are not faced with legal battles or having to pay to have a fender, a hood, a quarter panel repainted because you burned through the flat surface on the car. And remember, if it's an edge and you burn through an edge, that's your fault. That is your fault. There's no reason that you need to be getting that close to an edge. If the paint job is that nice, tape your edges and hand rub all of those edges very, very carefully so that you ensure that you will never, ever burn through on a buff surface. So I just wanted to talk about that. If you have any questions about Ceram-X or Ceram-XX, give me a call anytime. My phone number is 714-906-6619. Thanks everybody for listening, and if you're new here to the YouTube station, like us, it really helps, And our algorithm is really growing. We've got a lot more people. I think we just passed 3,000 hours in the last year, which is really good for a YouTube station. So thank you everybody for watching. And if you have a topic that you're struggling with using our product or not even using our product, email me or text me at the 714-906-6619, and I'll try to get back to you and answer that question on camera. So thanks a lot, everybody. Tom out from CSI.